Something is shifting inside the walls of SoFi, and it feels like the front office is playing a much deeper game than any of us realized. We've always been about that win-now mentality, chasing another Super Bowl ring with everything we've got. But there's a quiet tension building around a specific move that could redefine our identity for years to come. If you're a real fan, a part of the Rams faithful, you need to hit that subscribe button and like this video right now. We are entering a new era, and the stakes couldn't be any higher for our team. The news that's really sending ripples through the organization is the arrival of Max Clair. When we went into the draft, nobody expected us to pull the trigger on a tight end in the second round. We all thought maybe we'd look at the first round for a flashy name or wait until day 3 to just add some depth behind the veterans. But Les Snead and Sean McVay clearly saw something that the rest of the world is still trying to figure out. Max Clair is officially a Los Angeles Ram, and while he might not be the starter on day 1, the implications of this pick are absolutely massive. We have a room filled with talent right now, guys like Colby Parkinson and Tyler Higbee, but there is a hidden pressure building because this pick signals a massive change in how this offense wants to operate. But here's the thing that's making people a little nervous. Clair comes from Ohio State, and while that sounds great on paper, his final year there wasn't exactly the dominant performance we saw when he was at Purdue. At Purdue, the guy was an absolute monster. He was the focal point of the offense. He was catching everything in sight and racking up massive yards after the catch. He looked like the next great superstar at the position. And honestly, that's the player the Rams are betting on. But then he transferred to the Buckeyes, and suddenly the numbers dipped. His targets dropped significantly. His yardage per route took a hit. Some say it was just the scheme or the fact that he was surrounded by elite receivers who took the spotlight. Now this is where it gets interesting, because we have to ask ourselves if we are getting the Purdue version of Clair or the Ohio State version. If it's the latter, this second-round investment starts to look a lot riskier than we initially thought. The Rams pride themselves on being ahead of the curve, but when you spend high capital on a player who saw his production fall off right before entering the league, it creates an atmosphere of uncertainty. Is he a hidden gem that was just underutilized in a crowded offense? Or did he actually take a step back? This is the question that is haunting the practice facility right now as they evaluate what they truly have. Let's go deeper into why this situation is creating so much emotional tension among the coaching staff right now. It's not just about catching passes in this complex system. If you want to play for Sean McVay as a skill player, you have to be able to block. It is a non-negotiable requirement for anyone wearing our jersey. We've seen this story before with guys like Bryson Hopkins. He was a talented receiver, a guy who could stretch the field, but he could never consistently find his way onto the turf because he couldn't hold his own in the run game. Now we look at Clair. At Purdue, his run blocking grades were some of the lowest in the entire country. That is a terrifying statistic for a Rams fan to hear during the offseason. However, there is a glimmer of hope because he actually improved those numbers significantly during his time at Ohio State. He added weight. He took on the dirty work. He showed he was willing to sacrifice his stats to help the team win. But can he do it against NFL defensive ends? Can he hold the point of attack when the season is on the line and the game is in his hands? The concern is that if he can't develop that physical edge, he becomes a liability in an offense that demands total versatility. We are moving toward more 12 and 13 personnel looks, which means we need tight ends who can do it all. If Clair is just a one-dimensional player, the whole vision for this future offense starts to crumble before it even starts. The pressure on the developmental coaches right now is immense. They have to transform this young man into a complete player while the clock is ticking on our current veterans. We're talking about a roster impact that stretches far beyond just one position on the field. It affects how we run the ball and how we protect Matthew Stafford in the pocket. The stakes for Clair's development are through the roof because he is being groomed to be the successor to legends. If he fails to grasp the blocking schemes, he might end up as another cautionary tale of a high draft pick who couldn't adapt to the pro game. Every rep in training camp is going to be under a microscope, because our identity depends on it. But this is where things change and the real drama begins for the Rams faithful. We have to look at the contract situations in that tight end room. Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen are both on expiring deals. Tyler Higbee is getting older and has dealt with significant injuries over the years. The Rams aren't just drafting Clair for fun. They are drafting him because they are staring at a massive void that is about to open up in the very near future. And that's the biggest question facing this franchise right now. Are we truly prepared for this transition? If Clair isn't ready to step up and pair with Terrence Ferguson, we are going to be in a world of trouble. This move signals a total commitment to a specific style of football that we haven't seen in a long time. It's a gamble on the future of the franchise's offensive philosophy, because this could become something much bigger than just a simple depth move. It could be the moment we look back on as either the masterstroke that kept the window open or the mistake that slowed us down. Think about the Super Bowl pressure we feel every single day. Every year we are expected to compete. We don't have time for 3-year projects that might not pan out in the end. We need impact, and we need it soon. The emotional escalation here comes from the realization that the Rams are betting on Claire's upside over more certain prospects that were available at the time. They see a star. They see a mismatched nightmare who can exploit linebackers and safeties in the secondary. But the fans are left wondering if we are ignoring the red flags. The drop in yards after catch at Ohio State is a real concern for me. That was his calling card. If that explosive playmaking ability is gone because he put on too much weight to block, then we've lost the very thing that made him special. It's a delicate balancing act that McVay is trying to perform. He wants the blocker, but he needs the playmaker. If Claire loses his identity as a threat in the passing game, then the 12 personnel revolution we are all hoping for might never actually happen for us. We are sitting on the edge of our seats because the ripple effects are huge. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this situation actually worries me a little bit, but there's also a part of me that is incredibly excited for what's coming. I really like this move if it means we are getting the Purdue version of Max Claire. That guy was electric. He played with a certain swagger and a catch-and-run ability that reminded me of some of the best in the business. I think fans should pay attention to how he carries himself in the preseason. This actually feels like one of those high-risk, high-reward scenarios that defines the Les Snead era. We don't play it safe in this building. We go for the home run every single time. But I can't shake the feeling that we might be asking too much of him too soon. Tight end is notoriously the hardest position to learn in the NFL besides quarterback. You have to know the pass protections, the run fits, and the entire route tree. It's a lot for a kid who just spent a year as a third option in college. I want to believe he is the steal of the second round. I want to see him and Ferguson dominating the middle of the field for the next 5 years. That vision is beautiful. It keeps us in the hunt. It gives Stafford the weapons he needs to stay elite for a few more seasons. But we have to be realistic. If the blocking doesn't come along, he is going to be buried on the depth chart, and we will be scratching our heads wondering why we didn't address other needs. I've been a fan long enough to see these stories go both ways. Sometimes the projection players become all pros, and sometimes they just disappear into the background. The uncertainty is what makes being a Rams fan so intense right now. We are watching a transition happen in real time. We are seeing the old guard slowly being replaced by the new. It's emotional because we love our veterans. But we know change is necessary to stay on top of the league. I believe in McVay's ability to coach him up, but Claire has to meet him halfway. He has to show that hunger he had at Purdue. He has to prove that the Buckeye system was the only thing holding him back from greatness. The story of Max Claire is far from over, and in many ways, it's only just beginning to unfold. We are looking at a situation that could define the Rams' offensive trajectory for the next half-decade. There is so much unresolved tension here. Will he be the blocker we need? Will he regain that explosive playmaking ability? The future is incredibly uncertain. But that's what makes this journey so captivating for the Rams faithful. We are standing on the edge of a new chapter, and the implications for our Super Bowl window are massive. This isn't just about one player. It's about the soul of our offense and how we intend to fight for another championship. Something bigger is still coming. I can feel it in the way the team is talking about this kid. The expectations are heavy, and the lights in Los Angeles are bright, but that's where stars are born. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think Max Claire is the future, or are you worried about his transition to the NFL? Does his time at Ohio State concern you as much as it concerns some of the analysts? Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you love the Rams and want to stay updated on every emotional twist and turn this season, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are all in this together, and the road ahead is going to be wild. Horns up.